Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio.
Paranormal Geeks, welcome to your show. This is the premiere show of Paranormal Geeks Radio. My name's Jim Heater. I am your host for as long as Sharon and Julie want to keep me on. And I definitely want to thank them. I want to thank them big time for giving me this opportunity to host this show that is named after their latest book, Paranormal Geeks. It's an honor. It's quite an honor to me to be asked to do this show, and I'm going to do them justice. The music that you heard coming in, that was Jonathan Berman. It's from his CD, I Fall Awake. It's like I fall asleep, but he falls awake. And some very nice music. And we'll be playing a different song for the intro and also the exit. And every week we will just be playing more and more of his music. It's nice. It's a nice soft. I really like it. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Jonathan. And tonight's guest, like I said earlier, is Sharon Day and Julie Ferguson. Now, they are partners in crime, co-author books, go out on urban exploration, photography, ghost hunting, anything that the desert wants to put up against them. They will take it by the horns and show them who's boss. They some of the books that they've written, or written and co-written. The first one's Abandoned Places, Abandoned Memories. That is the Desert Edition. And Zombie Housewives of the Apocalypse. I'm sure you've all heard of that one. Zombie Housewives of the 1960s. and the last one, Paranormal Geeks, which has been out a couple months, I believe. And I also, there's rumors that they are working on a new zombie book, and it will be taking place in the 1970s, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute or two. But first off, I just want to, I see Sharon is on the line. Sharon, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. And Julie's here,
right.
too.
I am. Hi.
Oh, that's right. That's cool. Okay, I forgot you guys were going to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you both. Thank you
welcome.
both. Julie, welcome.
Yes, we are so glad you're going to host.
Yes. Excited.
It's going to be fun. We're going to make it fun.
Yes, we're opening up a champagne bottle right now. You want to hear?
Yes, go.
Yay! Actually, it's really any excuse to have champagne, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the excuse.
I understand. Well, okay, let's see what we can do later.
Okay.
We'll get another
yeah.
excuse. The sun came up. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. It's the middle of the week. Okay.
Yes. Hump day. There we go. So you want to explain a little bit about Paranormal Geeks? Well, no, first, I want to know, I've had some people ask me how you guys met and how you guys got together.
Well, we can thank Blogger. We both had blogs. We had paranormal blogs. What we didn't realize was that as we were getting to know each other's blogs, we were in the same town. And I decided I was going to go on this ghost hunt. And I thought, well, I should just ask Julie to go and get to meet her in real life. And you just don't hear about bloggers meeting each other, face to face. So I invited her on the ghost hunt, and we were like long-lost sisters right away. And we just started hitting the road and photographing things and divulging our lives. And we were both going through really terrible times in our lives and had all these obstacles and all these personal things happening. And every time we hit the road, we got all these dreams. We would love what we were seeing, love photographing it. We would find abandoned buildings and take pictures. And we would talk about, we should do a book using these photographs. And it sounded like a dream, but both of us were so desperate in our lives that we decided to act on it. So we actually did our first book, Abandoned Places, Abandoned Memories, based on 12 abandoned sites that we went to. And Julie did extensive photography of them, and then I did a psychic read on each site. And from there, we just found more and more projects, and they were all serendipitous. I mean, we would just start, knocking around an idea, and next thing you know, it was a reality.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice when it all works out like that.
Well, yeah, I think we both have skills that complement each other, and so it's just so easy to work together.
Mm-hmm. I can see you can see that in the books. You can see that just when you post pictures of you guys together. It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah, and speaking of pictures, we were just a few minutes ago, in fact, we're all hot and sweaty still. We were underneath a photography light doing a shoot for our 70s book, our Zombie Housewives of the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when is that going to be coming out?
This summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we all know the premise of all the other, some of us, the other premises of the zombie books, the 70s. Can you tell us? What's going to turn the wives into zombies in the 70s?
We don't want to give away too much of the book,
okay,
but no, we'll give you a hint. Just remember, each decade we covered something. The 50s, it was Cold War because it was obviously that era. The 60s, it had to do with pot smoking, and the 70s have a little something to do with 3 Mile Island.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that sounds like a winner.
It's going to be over the top each time. I mean, the books are very stylish and they're very unusual. There's just not a genre like them, but each time, artistically and creatively, they become more and more tongue-in-cheek and just lush graphics. So we expect the 70s we're going to own that decade since we're children of the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be too much, you won't have to do too much research on it.
No.
No, just a lot of memory.
That's right.
Yes. Well, what you can remember, yes.
Yeah, we were actually shopping for the wardrobe tonight at the secondhand store. We were looking for anything polyester.
I think the guy gave us a weird look when we were checking out with the clothes, like
ponchos.
What
and
are they buying?
I'm going to make these clothes work into my wardrobe somehow.
They're very 70s and very
beads and peace symbols and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Keep on trucking, dude. Just think Brady Bunch.
Oh,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, hip hop and groovy in a far out way.
All right. So tell us about Paranormal Geeks, this show's namesake.
Yes.
And how all this came about.
Well, I think it was on some of our ghost hunts together, Julie and I, we had a practice where before a ghost hunt we would open up a bottle of champagne. Now, I know you're not supposed to drink before you ghost hunt, but we would get a plastic cup and we'd each get to have like 2 swallows of champagne. And that just kind of told us, okay, it's time to chill out and quiet down because we've set up our equipment, we're all worked up. And then to try to loosen us up and get us in a better place, I would put on a strobe light and we would strobe light dance. So we've used some very unusual things on ghost hunts and weird techniques. And,
magnets on our head.
Yeah, we did. One experiment on the pineal gland, we decided to put some North Pole magnets inside of some headbands, and we looked like something from Let's Get Physical from the 80s. But, we're willing to try anything, but we realize that we really are just geeks because, honestly, anytime anything comes online, on TV and documentaries, movies, whatever, if it's any paranormal subject, we just wanted it. And so we realized that we're not the only people like that. There's a lot of us out there, and there's some that are really focused on just one area. Maybe they're just into Bigfoot or maybe they're just into UFOs, but there's always like a little seep over where we all love horror movies or, whatever, zombies or something.
Sci-fi.
And we like our gadgets and we like our knowledge. We're all knowledge seekers. So we're really nerds, but it's a different kind of nerd. We're not really like your sci-fi fantasy nerds. We're looking for real science. Yeah, it's really a science and romantic science.
And you're not going to dress in Spock and go to these conventions.
No, just zombies.
Just zombies.
Exactly. But we realize, and that's why our logo says, Paranormal Geeks. We outnumber the normal people because. Really, if you look at the general population, I don't know many people that aren't into something paranormal, if it's, psychics or zombies or ghosts or whatever.
That's it. They don't realize that it all falls into the paranormal genre.
Exactly. And as paranormal bloggers, we cover every, we cover every subject on our blog. Yeah.
It started out ghosts, but it's gone into so many other things now.
Yeah, and the real thrust of this book was to try to get people that are into the paranormal together and get them interested in each other's area of interest. Make those Bigfoot people think about UFOs or, make them start talking and hanging together and being a club, because we outnumber the jocks and the cheerleaders.
Yeah, exactly. And if you stop and think about some of these things and you stop and think about them long enough, you're going to maybe figure out that some of these things have some things in common.
Absolutely.
Yes, true. So, the book wasn't just, it was kind of to bring us together, but it was also a little tongue-in-cheek. We interviewed dozens of people that are paranormal geeks. We found the different kinds of characteristics, the different categories, the different degrees, the way they live the lifestyle. It's really interesting to learn about these. Get in the head of paranormal geeks. We may seem really different, but when you start talking to us, we're so totally the same.
Oh, yeah. Tim?
Yeah, I'm here. Something just happened.
Oh, did you fall asleep?
No, I took a nap today. That was actually a fear of mine, was falling asleep.
Yeah. So
I hopped over and there was a phone call, and I hopped over and asked Jessica, Jessica's my daughter. She's the call screener tonight. She graciously accepted the job as the call screener, and I forgot one thing I told her is if there's a question mark next to the phone number, that they have a question. If there's no question mark, they're just here to listen. I forgot that rule, and I had to jump over there and ask her, what's area code 661? What do they need? I thought maybe she'd screwed up, but I should have known better. It was Dad. It was Dad having one of his senior moments.
Not bad for a first-time show, yeah.
No. Well, no.
Yeah, iron out the kinks.
Don't mind me, I'm going to have some more champagne.
Yeah, have some more champagne. I'm having tea.
Oh, you're having tea?
Yes, so I may have to make a run here in a couple minutes. So.
We'll cover for you. How's that?
Okay, sing and dance or something. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Well, you see, that's what I like about this show is we can take all these different ideas, all these different subjects, and bring them all onto one page or onto one show. You look out there, and there are so many paranormal shows on the radio that they're just strictly just ghosts, and they'll talk to different teams, which is cool. I plan on getting some teams on here to talk with too, but there's just so much more to it. And when I started getting into this, I've always been interested in UFOs. Because I can remember back in the late 60s, my grandfather used to take a book called Popular Science, and I think it's still out there.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And they had, that was my first view, or my first seeing or hearing anything about UFOs. And they talked about the Betty and Barney Hill case was always brought up, was always there. And also there was another one with two guys that were fishing, I think down in Louisiana or Florida, and they were abducted. They were fishing in a swamp or something, and they saw this UFO come in, and they were abducted. And when I first read that, I said, this is so cool. And my grandfather would give me these magazines after he got done Paranormal Part, and I'd sit at home and just read them, and I'd take them to work, or not take them to work. I didn't work when I was in the 60s. I took them to school. My grandmother gave me a briefcase, so here I am in grade school carrying this briefcase. So I guess I started being a nerd back in grade school.
Oh, Jim, you were born to be a paranormal geek. You were waiting for your destiny. Yeah.
I need a briefcase. So the only thing that would be in it were these popular science books with these UFO articles in them. Mm-hmm. And I'd keep my briefcase in my locker. It would be there all day, but I'd walk home with my briefcase with my UFO stuff in it. And it wasn't until lately. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't until lately, within the past year or so, started really thinking about the Bigfoot deal. And I'm just eating that up like biscuits and gravy at breakfast now.
Exactly. I think all of us remember that moment we were a geek, like where you kind of realized there's something a little different about you. Now, of course, I grew up in a big old scary mansion on the hill, and all the kids were terrified of my house. But one of the things I do remember as a kid doing is that we had a library in the house, and all the books were like ancient. They were, 1800s. They were very old. But we had this one, it looked like the Necronomicon or something. It just had this big leather scary cover. And I would carry that with me to the playground and tell kids that I was a witch and I was going to do a spell on them, and I'd open the book up and they'd all run. And it was sort of my way of saying, okay, you don't like me? Well, screw you. I'm gonna have all the power here. You play your games, your hopscotch, and don't ask me to play because I'm different. Well, I'll see you. So I did kind of define myself as being, I knew I was going to be different. So it's like, when they always say that people that are fat as kids, they become comedians. Well, I knew I was going to be odd and paranormal, so I just said, okay, I'm really going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Julie, how did you get involved in all this?
Oh, just various different things. Mine wasn't one thing in particular. Movies, TV shows. I did have a ghostly experience. I saw something when I was a little girl, couldn't explain what it was. Of course, Bigfoot. I think when I saw, of all things, Legend of Boggy Creek, that completely freaked me out. I saw it in the theater when it was new, and I didn't know what Bigfoot was, and I was so fascinated and scared at the same time, and wanted to know more. But that's kind of how it got started for me, through different movies and stuff. I was just interested in all that stuff. I wanted to know more about it.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's how a lot of us. It's a lot of people that are in the paranormal have had that experience where they think they saw something, or their grandfather came and visited them and stuff.
And the thing is, we're not really fanciful people all that much. Almost everybody I know that's a paranormal geek is very logic-minded. So when they see something that their logic can't explain, they're on a mission now because their mind is so intellectual. They won't let it go until they have an answer. That's why I started Ghost Hunting Theories blog. I wanted to knock out ideas. Yep.
And that's another thing you cover. You cover so many different things. It's not just the ghosts. I love all your Bigfoot stuff, and like today you posted the gangsters, the mobsters, which was very cool. I mean, like with Capone, you don't know whether he was actually seeing a ghost or whether his syphilis had finally
exactly.
And but it's all okay with that. You investigate until you find an answer if that was really what was happening. Was there someone that was bugging Al?
Mhm.
You never know what you're going to come up with.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now you, Sharon, you talked about your ghost hunting theories. Julie, you also have a blog.
Yes. It actually started out. I started out with a friend after we did a kind of a goofy ghost hunt at the Copper Queen Hotel in Bisbee. We both talked about how much we liked writing about ghosts and wanted to start a blog, so we kind of started one together. And because of personal reasons, he had to bow out. And my blogs turned from kind of writing about ghosts and all that to more about Arizona's history. I mean, when her and I started taking all these road trips, it kind of evolved into more of an Arizona thing and showing people the road trips and talking about the history and the ghosts.
Yeah.
And even when we went to Payson to watch the Finding Bigfoot show. It's kind of a variety. I don't just talk about ghosts on there and that, but I talk about like the Wild West history stuff. People seem to really enjoy that. They seem to be fascinated by what's going on in the West. The mining towns and the ghosts that are in the mining towns and.
Well, it's so rich with history.
It is, and I just enjoy. I never loved history as much as I do now because I'm going out there. I think that's why I enjoyed all the abandoned places that we go to. I don't go there. I go there and I like to look at the way things look right now and kind of wonder what was going on there before because, all these places used to have life at one time. And the towns are what really get me, all the empty stores and all that. And I remember when I was a little girl going through them, and they were just full of people and full of life, and they're just not like that anymore. So,
yeah, that's what happens when you live in a place with mining towns. They come and go.
They do.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to go out and look at it also.
On the other side of the Catalinas, I used to live in Tucson a number of years ago, and on the other side of the Catalinas, there's a copper. No, it's not a copper. There's some kind of mining town over there. I thought it was still kind of active, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it. But I remember road trips down to Bisbee. Tombstone was always a nice little drive up in the mountains.
Yes.
And of course down to Nogales.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's when you can go down to Nogales and have a ball. It was a blast.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days.
Yeah.
But never really got much into Bisbee, except I think the time that I was down there. They were having like a Renaissance fair.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like in downtown Bisbee, and I just fell in love with the place.
It's very charming.
I love it. It's I don't know. It's a very unique town because it's got its artists. The locals there are unique.
Right.
And the place is it's got all the great history and the hotels. A lot of the hotels are haunted there. A lot of them.
Yes.
And I stayed at the Copper Queen Hotel twice and have had experiences there, and it's been exciting. And when you walk around the town at night, it's very creepy. It's dark.
That is probably one of the, I think Jerome's probably the creepiest Arizona town.
Yeah, Jerome is too.
Bisbee is number 2.
Yeah, I love Jerome as well.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, living in a place like that's fantastic. I wish I knew half of what I knew now.
I appreciate and love them more now than I did when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to admit that I always felt when my family moved me out west that they dumped me in the middle of the desert and I'm stuck here, and I really don't like sunshine and heat and dryness at all, and I don't like not having trees and forests and things. But since Julie and I have taken to the road, for some reason I'm kind of getting an affection for Arizona that I never had, and it's because I'm not driving through it to go to California or, to a destination. When Julie and I hit the road, we literally ramble. We notice a gravel road and go, oh, that looks cool, and we'll just turn and go down it. And we'll, if we see something sticking up in the distance, we'll go, let's see how we can get to that, So we find things that make the place more interesting. So when we come back, we go, that was really a cool trip, instead of, the typical family trip where you go to the Grand Canyon, stand there, take a photo, and then leave.
Yeah, make sure everybody's in
Now,
focus.
we might go to the Grand Canyon, but we're going to stop along all these tiny little places along the way.
And if I know us, we might forget we were supposed to go to the Grand Canyon.
I know, and if we see a chicken and a bathtub and a boat, seems to be a lot of things. Yeah, we see boats in the middle of the desert, and it's these big chickens. I don't understand.
Giant chickens
and bathtubs. Yeah. So those.
Only in Arizona can you find those enough to photograph them.
Exactly.
Every town has a chicken.
Is it one of the big fiberglass ones, the big 30-foot high ones?
Like 6 or 8 feet tall. Yeah.
We've managed right in front of it.
We find them. I don't know why. We just do.
And believe me, she's turning around or stopping really quick. Chicken!
One of our trips recently, we were driving up through this rocky mountain area, and it's all boulders. And all of a sudden, I just slam on the brakes and do a U-turn. And Julie's like, "What's going on?" And I go, "There's a giant frog." And then she's like, "What?" And we pull over, and somebody had taken one of the boulders and painted a frog onto it. And we just had to get a picture of it, because we never see that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're never going to find that again.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we're geeks. We can't help it.
And that's what I like doing now, where it's going to if we have an investigation up in what we did up in Crown Point, Indiana, and driving up there, it's like, ooh, that's really cool. Look at the little bridge with the ice on it. That'd be a good picture. And that's what I like, is just driving and just finding something to stop, take a couple pictures, and move on.
Yeah, and then we have another thing too. We have to find the best chimichanga in that town. So we look for the most obscure diner and order a chimichanga, and it's always the best.
Yeah,
we're on a quest to find the best one in Arizona.
Yeah, we have a motto: you just never know, because when we go out, we don't know what we're going to find, or if we see a road, let's just take it. Like when our last trip, we went off to this tiny little town. And there was this abandoned building just sitting there along the highway waiting for us to take pictures of it.
It's probably one of the more pretty buildings that we photographed in a long time, too. But nobody would have ever known it was there. It wasn't a through road. It was only for locals and really obscure. But our curiosity is what gets us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're packing. No, I'm just kidding.
You're packing?
Yeah, we pack a snake bite kit, and we've got a stun gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And pepper spray. We're prepared.
You never know when a javelina is going to show up.
Absolutely. Actually, we saw one in Sedona.
Yeah, it was my first javelina. Yay. And we are cautious that we carry first aid kit, we carry snake bite kit, we carry masks, because when you go into abandoned buildings, you don't know what asbestos, or in Arizona you have to worry about hantavirus. So if any mice have urinated there and you shake out something that has the dust on it, and you inhale that, you could die. So you just have to be really careful.
Yeah. Well, what was it? I was reading Lyme disease. I was reading something or watching a show where Lyme disease, they think, was actually made on that island off of...
Montauk?
Yeah.
It was from Montauk.
That's not the name of the island, but it's...
but
it's right there off near Montauk Beach in Montauk, the city of Montauk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't remember the island, but they're saying that was actually formulated and designed there on this island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd heard that too. Yeah.
So I can't, and they're talking about moving that place because that's also
into the Midwest, into farm country. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, this is what we need. We need to spread more diseases through our food and our produce. Yes.
Exactly.
It's like a 1980s zombie book coming out.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Another zombie book. That would have to be the new Millennium book. Yeah.
There you go.
We were talking about, we had planned these zombie books out to the 80s. And then we figured women's roles in the 90s were pretty solidified, so we didn't have to call the women zombies at all. But then we realized that was when men became the new moms. So we were thinking zombie husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mr.
We already got some
Mr.
people that want to be models for the books. So
well, if they move that to the Midwest, I hope we're all alive that you can write this next freaking book.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's right, yeah. It sounds very much like the scenario of our 50s book, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Andromeda Strain. We all remember that movie from the 80s, early 80s.
Oh, man, now I wonder if that's on Netflix. I'm in the mood for that.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That spooked the heck out of me.
That one, and
she's got a good one that we're going to watch.
Remember Fantastic Voyage?
Oh, yeah.
That was another good one from that era.
With Raquel Welch. Of course I remember that.
They got shot into the body? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember anything else?
Sure. I have no idea what the plot was. But I'll tell you every outfit she wore.
Yes. And she swims great.
I bet she
right through your bloodstream, yeah.
Yep. Got into my bloodstream. And then, was it 1 million years BC?
Oh yes. Oh, yeah, and everybody had that poster of her. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I got that as a Christmas present, I think, like back in the 73 or 74, and I had to put it inside my closet door and keep my closet shut. No, one time my mom found it. And what is this? Well, that's Raquel Welch. She's a very famous. Keep this door shut. Well, I'm trying to. Stay out of my closet.
I know, I was just going to say, Jim, were you always in the closet as a kid?
With my flashlight.
Jim, I worry about him. I see the light bulb on in there. I know he's in the closet.
Yeah, we'll stop right there. We've gone far enough.
That and the Farrah Fawcett poster were the men's favorites, yes.
Oh, that's something from the 70s we need to add.
Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yep. Mm-hmm. With Farrah, it was more like from the waist down, or from the neck down. If I remember right,
her hair.
Oh,
a lot of hair.
Well, if I remember right, it was cold the day she was taking that picture. Was taken.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a little nippy.
They took it inside of a meat freezer. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Something else. We didn't talk about this, but we have a book. The Paranormal Geeks book that we're going to give away in the chat room.
Yes, Julie and I have autographed a Paranormal Geeks book. We're going to be giving it away for free to somebody in the chat room. We'll be pulling a name out.
Okay, now let's see. Man, we have quite a few people in the chat room. I want to thank you all.
We wrote all the names down.
Oh, you do have all the names down?
I even put my name down there too.
No, you didn't get to have
I'm
one.
just kidding. I tried.
If it's free, she'll try to get it.
Hey, it's autographed.
I have to toggle between the chat room and the studio, which the studio's in good hands. It's with my Jessica's doing a great job there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if anybody out there wants to call in, has any questions, or just wants to say hi to Sharon or Julie, the call-in number is 646-378-0275. I should have said that already like 5 times by now, but I didn't. I'm not a good host yet, I guess. I'll get better. But like I said, that's area code 646-378-0275. And maybe if we ever do this again, and the call screener gets some more experience, we'll do like the 5th caller or something, or the 10th caller. So I don't want to stress her out. I don't want to stress her out.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Poor thing.
Get her broken in and she quits.
Let's do this in stages, dear. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, this
what
is
else
cool
on
because,
my
Jim, Julie and I are making ourselves totally available for the show when we hit the road. We're going to be doing some crazy road trips, some very weird events. And
yes, I want to talk
so
about
if the show is happening when we're on the road, we'll certainly be calling in.
Sweet. Yes,
we're going outside of Arizona.
We're really going to be doing some weird stuff.
I know. I've heard about.
She says with a maniacal laugh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be very, very nice.
And that involves a few realms of paranormal
yes,
stuff.
We're basically covering all of the paranormal realms. The only one we're not going on the road to do is one we're going to be doing here in Arizona. We plan to do a UFO hunt, but our own style. We want to do it our own way. So we're going to rent cots. We're going to take a group of people way out in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. We're going to put the cots in a spoke-like fashion so that everybody can lay down on a cot and study a different quadrant of the sky. But we will have a cooler and we will have a boom box, so it'll be a really interesting evening. We'll see things
and
for
we're
the
not
right reason.
we're not going to do it when it's 120 out.
No, we don't want the rattlers to be visiting us.
No,
so.
We don't want any critters.
Yeah.
No critters.
No critters.
I have years ago I bought it's a nice telescope, and I think I probably used it 5 times, if that. And I want to get out this summer and do some stargazing. I want to do my little search for UFOs.
Okay.
And because I hate to have this in the closet, and it's nice. I just never used it.
Again in the closet.
yeah. Again in the closet. I like that.
Oh. Well,
we're hoping Raquel is over the bed now at this point. Yeah. You got your own place. You can do that.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah, and I guess this show's as good a time as any to make this announcement. No, just kidding. No way.
He's a paranormal geek.
That's the geek lab is the closet. We all know that.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. In the dark room.
Actually, I remember as a kid, and my mom got very mad at me for this, but I went into, we had a 250-year-old, Civil War hospital house, beautiful, incredibly constructed building, but when I had one of the bedrooms, went into the closet and this was the 70s, of course, took glow-in-the-dark crayons and drew, that green glow-in-the-dark. I drew all these aliens, UFOs, stars. I think I tried to draw a Bigfoot. That was during the Boggy Creek time. And and so I had just, there were like Casper the ghost floating around, like all these weird, everything paranormal. And you go in the closet and you close the door, and it would just be so bright for like the first 5 minutes, and then it would, die. But my mom, sometimes when she'd be hanging my clothes up in my room, she'd be like, "What's on your walls in your closet?" And I would think, oh, my gosh, she better never go in there and close the door. And she did one time. And she came out and she looked at me and she said, "I know I'm an art teacher, and I know I've told you this many times, but we use canvases, okay?"
Oh.
So we had to paint the closet. I was devastated.
Oh, every kid's colored on a wall.
Yeah.
Both mine did. I did.
No, I don't really have a good excuse. I was about 12.
Oh, no, that's not a good excuse. I think they were much younger.
Maybe I was a slow kid. I don't know.
You should have been beyond that, yes.
It was a boring weekend. What can I say?
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago we watched Legend of Boggy Creek just to see it as adults and laughed our butts.
Well, no, actually I have a YouTube video of us. We had a few drinks before we started making fun of the movie. Yeah.
It's very different. It's very different than seeing it out of a 12-year-old's eyes, than seeing it as an adult. Did you know know Mother was a man.
Yeah, we caught some little glitches in the movie.
Yeah, we did. The song was wonderful as well.
That's right,
Watching
Travis Crabtree.
That's right, Travis Crabtree.
And he went into the bottoms. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they had a song for him.
Watching your videos is like watching
watching
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's my favorite thing in the world. I just have, and you've seen my memes up online, but I love to just, ridicule things. I can't help it.
Yeah, we told our waiter today to check out the Ancient Alien one that she did.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
With her hair.
I don't think I'm going back to that restaurant again.
No, he liked it. He wrote it all down.
Oh, until he sees it, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And I wanted to tell you, too, that Julie and I have been discussing, besides the fact that we're doing the new zombie 1970s book, we're also working on a concept for the Paranormal Geeks Field Guide. We wanted to do a follow-up of the book, and we wanted to do a book that tells about how you do like we do, where we immerse ourselves in actually going out into the field, and how you research something, and how you follow something and go chase a curiosity, how you can plan a trip where you don't just go to a destination. Along the way, you hit every paranormal thing that's on the road on the way.
You make the most of it.
The kinds of tools you might need, the kinds of experiments you might try, just try to open your mind up to, instead of being, sitting at home watching paranormal shows, get out and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it a verb.
Because we used to be watchers and wanting to do it. Now we're doers, and it's so much fun to be out there doing it. It really is. Mm-hmm. Been sitting around wishing we were.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of people that have the groups now, the reason they made the groups, I want to be like Zach. I want to go and yell at ghosts and make them mad at me and get scratched, and ghosts will give me muscles and make me wear black shirts. But
and make my hair go straight up.
Yes, exactly. But that's people ask, what's ghost hunting about? And it's like, well, first thing, don't believe what you see on the TV. It's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't think of any time where I've ran around a location saying, "Dude, run," or anything.
Or walking around with your voice recorder in your hand while you're asking questions. Yeah, I find it to be total entertainment. That's why I parody online so much. It's really just, when people get indignant that ghost shows aren't accurate or that they aren't fulfilling some need to get evidence, I want to say, how in the world do you think they're going to get evidence? They have a crew of 12 people rambling around this house with them. It's ridiculous to ask that of them. They're just representing a field, but that's not a reality. The show ER was very fascinating, but I worked in an ER, and it wasn't like that show.
It wasn't quite like that.
Nope. So, you got to separate those two things, definitely.
It's much different.
We did a huge old movie theater that was built, I think it was 1914, here down in Champaign, and we had a new person with us that had never been on a ghost hunt before. A paranormal investigation. Big difference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Said that. But she'd never been on one before, and she was just amazed at the time it took to set up cameras, to get the views right. You don't really see that. You see them go in, put up cameras, and on the radio, try and go, that looks great. And that's it. And it was hot and sweaty, and it was terrible. And then the thing breaking it down. And that takes a good 30, 45 minutes easy to break everything down and pack everything up.
Oh, yeah.
And the painful dental-like procedure of reviewing evidence, yes.
Oh, yeah, and that's the main thing. That you won't be able to do it in an hour. And,
no. We had 3 hours in the birdcage, and part of that, the lady was nice enough to let us not use part of our 3 hours to set up, because it took us a while to set up.
Yes.
And that would have really eaten into our investigation time.
Yeah, and there's the other wonder of having ghost hunting nowadays. Now, the blessing of ghost hunting shows is that we all got to come out of the closet and admit, I'm into the paranormal, and I investigate. and it was okay, and then it even became cool. But then the field became overcrowded. TV shows started hitting all the main places, and places like Birdcage, they charge you $100 an hour to hunt there. I mean, it's an industry now.
It is.
It's just a whole different world.
Now, there are a few places you can find that won't charge you. We were very lucky at a couple places in Globe that didn't. But
yes.
Very lucky there that, there are places, but places like she said, like the Birdcage, it's just, they're taking advantage of it,
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Well, we had a place that was up in, it was northeast of Indianapolis that Ghost Adventures went to last year, and they recently shut it down because, and I think I heard that they tore this place down, Black Panther.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there was a big scandal about that. That the guy who owned it. This is what I read online. So whether it's true or not, that the guy that was leasing the land and the house from the owners made up a lot of the stories that was associated with the house. And when you tell these people, yes, and there's a little girl that likes to stay up in that front bedroom, and she'll talk to you, and all this stuff. You tell them this, they're going to go in with that expectation, and you know what? They're going to come back with this with this evidence somehow.
Well, that's what I talk about a lot, context and belief. You go into a place that you know is haunted, and you know the kind of things that happen there. Anything that happens now is under that explanation because you believe that story. So now you're not even thinking of any other possibilities. You're only thinking if we hear something, it's the kid. And I don't like when people close their minds that way. I go into things with no belief system. I don't care what anybody has said about this place because they're just stories. I'm going to try to actually look at the evidence, and it will tell me what it is instead of me telling the evidence what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's whenever we don't do them much anymore because we've been burned about the last 3 out of 4 residentials where people ask us to come in. It turns out they're freaking whack jobs.
Yes, but, they're on medications, and I know. Yes. We run into a lot of that,
So, I don't like doing those anymore. But, oh, crap, what was I? Oh, yeah, that's where I was going with that. Sorry, first show jitters. Is I'll go and interview the people, get their stories, but I won't tell anybody in the group what their stories are.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what my team does.
And they say, we hear voices or footsteps in the kitchen. I'll tell them, one of you might want to stay in the kitchen, do some EVP stuff. I won't tell them what they're supposed to be getting or what's going on there. But you'll just keep all that to yourself because you don't need that premonition. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. Like you said, you don't want to give them any more ideas.
I get that because I am a psychic. I do upon occasion use it, but not for hunts. But if I'm talking to somebody who wants me to do a reading, I just tell them, look, I'm going to turn away from you. I don't want to see you. Never make a sound. Never say a word. I don't want anything to come out of you. You can take a notepad. You can write what I'm saying, but I don't want to know anything about your facial reactions, your voice, or anything. And I'll just turn away, and I will just spit out everything I can give them, and then they make sense out of what I've done. But my problem is when you're a psychic, you get so caught up in what a person's wearing, what you know about them, if you know about their background, their expressions, the way they nod their head briskly. All of this ends up becoming what they, mentalist techniques, as we call them, where you look for body cues to tell you where to go. So I would follow a nugget if I see them react, and that may actually take me as a psychic to a dead end. So I don't want that influence. And there's not many psychics out there that will do it blind and deaf, but I demand that I do. And I prefer to read someone I don't know because I have no preconceived notions if I don't know you.
Yes. Yeah. Very true. That makes sense. And that's and in this field, I've made a lot of psychic friends, and I said, will you read me? I don't even ask anymore because that's usually the answer. I know you too well to read you.
I know. Because I've done that. I can talk myself out of something that I pick up because I think, that couldn't possibly be her.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The ego gets in the way and the intellect. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we have to be. Let's see. Okay. We have to be out of here at 8:54. It is 8:40. What's my time?
Okay. I want to. Julie and I are going to pull a name from the chat room
that's what I was
for
ready to
the
say.
winner of the Paranormal Geeks sign book. Okay. Julie, close your eyes.
I wish I had a drum roll.
Okay, you missed. She missed the pile of names.
Strike one.
Yeah. Have another drink. Have some more
Okay,
champagne.
there we go. Okay, she got Mike Archangel. Mike Archangel is the winner of the book.
Is he still on?
Is Mike Archangel still on?
Awesome.
I would like to tell this person that they're in the book.
I talked
there
to...
he is, yes. Okay, yes, we've got Mike Archangel in there. Okay,
cool.
So what I would say is, hey, Mike, please just email ghosthuntingtheories@gmail.com, and we will get that book out to you. Congratulations.
Yes,
congratulations, Mike. And what's really interesting is I hopped on this site a couple nights ago. Or was it yesterday? Anyway, whenever it was. I'm starting talking to my parents. Now,
I hopped the restaurant. Are you talking about the Pancake House?
So I hopped on here and I was fumbling around on here, and Mike and another person helped me out through some little problems I was having here. And it wasn't really that big of a problem.
Cool.
It was just, and this is very cool that he.
See, that's karma. That's karma. It all comes back.
Awesome. I hope he enjoys it.
Yes. Well, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he will, too. He'll find himself in there somewhere, too.
In fact, Jim, we want to not only thank you for being willing to be the host of this show, but also we noticed that a lot of the guests that you've lined up are actually listed in our Paranormal Geeks book as Paranormal Geek rock stars.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So double thumbs up. We need those because us geeks, we have our rock stars in the field. There's a certain people that
absolutely.
We know who they are.
And you just brought that up, and I want to run real quick through some of the upcoming guests, which I'm real excited about.
Oh yeah.
Next week it's going to be Christopher Booth. He's the film director producer. Spook TV. Marla Fries, she's a psychic out of California. She is fantastic. Jim Vieira, he is, if you follow my Facebook or follow the Paranormal Geeks Radio blogspot page, he does the ancient stone building and ancient giants that were here in the United States. Fantastic, great.
That would be interesting.
That's going to be a good show. Let's see, and then our next guest, this will be on the 26th, is David Lowry, which I saw he was in chat. He is the Paranormal Highwayman. He's an investigator and a videographer, does great work. Jumping into March, I still have a couple minutes here. Sandy Wells, she's an author and a psychic out of Washington State. And this is going to be another good show. M.K. Davis, he's a Bigfoot researcher and does a lot of video work on stabilization and what's it called with his video? How he
cleans up and stabilizes videos so we can see, take a blob squatch and be able to see it as best we can, and then we can decide if we think it's good or not. Yeah.
And they're not his videos. These are videos that have been given
he doesn't
to him.
he doesn't take these videos. People just send them to him, and he just whatever he gets, he cleans up. Says this is the best you can get. He was the first person to ever stabilize the Patterson-Gimlin film, and he's just brilliant at what he does.
And if those of you who don't know what the Patterson-Gimlin film is, that's the first really good, famous Bigfoot video of Bigfoot walking through the creek bed, and he stops. Or she, obviously it's a she.
Yeah,
turns around and looks into the camera. It's very, very good. And then we also have Ben Hansen from Fact or Faked. Very nice guy. And it looks like I only have room for March here. I'm not going to be able to go any farther. Maria Jones. She's an author, a paranormal, more like where are ghosts from?
She wrote Science, which was PSI.
PSI, yes.
And it's basically the physics of ghosts, and it's brilliant. She's so smart.
Yeah, she really is. I just bought the book.
She's like the ultimate paranormal geek.
Yes, I just bought the book, and I have yet to start reading it, but I will soon. Listen, our time is up tonight. I want to thank both you, Sharon and Julie, I want to thank you, number one, for being on the show tonight. It's been fantastic. I've loved it. And number two, for asking me to host this freaking show. This is going to be fantastic.
You are the perfect candidate because you are into everything paranormal. You're like a junkie and an addict, and we love it. We want to keep pumping you with more good.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, Jim, very, very much.
Yeah.
You're very good host.
Well, thank you. Thank you guys very, very much. And Mike Archangel, don't forget to, Michael, whatever that was, don't forget to get a hold of ghosthuntingtheories.com, get your name so I can get the book out to you. Thank you all very much for being on the show tonight, and thank you all for listening. And thank you, Jessica, my daughter, for running the phone lines, even though nobody called in. You did a great job. I'm proud of you. And we'll be back next week with Christopher Booth here on Paranormal Geeks Radio. And we outnumber the normal people. Don't forget that, folks. Y'all have a good night. Thank you all again.